I'm in my Class C RV and I have started some renovations that I hope I do not regret. But I cannot stand looking at this place for one more second. It's so ugly. It's brown on brown on brown on brown. I'm going to work on fixing that and making this place our own. I need something lighter, brighter, a little bit prettier, a little more aesthetic, and we've been doing little changes here and there. Hopefully it lasts. Hopefully, sometimes you hear horror stories, but we'll see. I'm working on it, and come with me. I'll show you what I've done. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm sorry, I got bags under my eyes. I'm exhausted. I don't know. Mentally, I'm just off someplace else, but we decided to come to the camper today and do some maintenance, some things that we've been meaning to get around to doing. And my first project inside is going to be to tackle these window treatments. They're disgusting. Not only are they super, super ugly, but I hate these. They allow light to come through, and at night they're not quite privacy. You can still kind of see through them. So I'm going to ditch those in exchange for, I got these curtains from Amazon. They're supposed to be blackout curtains, and I got some cafe rods at Target. I wanted black. All they had was silver, but I'm not going to complain. I got them all on clearance, so I think the largest one I paid 10 bucks for, and the rest were like 5 something. And I got these holders for the wall for the cafe rods. They stick to the wall. I'm going to try these out. So first things first, I've got to start working on getting the screws out of this thing so I can dismantle it. So let's get going. The next thing I'm going to do is mount the new cafe rods up and get the curtains up. So let's do that next. They went up super easy. They are blackout curtains because they're keeping a lot of light out. This is going to work great. I just got like a beigey taupey color because I don't really know what we're going to do like decor wise with the camper, but I'm super happy with this. I'm glad how it turned out. Our next project is to ditch the uncomfortable jackknife sofa for something better. Or did we make a mistake? Bought this last year, took out the jackknife sofa, which needed to come out desperately. I found these on Wayfair. I thought, oh, they look cute. They're modular. It's like mix and match, right? And I like them because if you lift up these cushions, there's actual storage under there, which is very nice. And I thought these would be the perfect solution. They were literally the perfect size. Then I got them. I thought corduroy would be a real cute alternative and look campy and cozy. Then I got this shiny, fuzzy ugliness. But you know what? I'll be darned, it's comfortable. So normally what I do when we're traveling is I throw a blanket over it anyway. It hides the ugliness of it. So we're going to keep it, at least for now. Next, we need to get rid of the dinette and put that space to better use. Already I'm kind of excited for the amount of space that we're going to get in here. We're hoping to turn some upper cabinets into lower cabinets down here, do some cabinets along this wall, and then a narrow counter space that runs pretty much the whole length, which we are in desperate need of. Demolishing is better than I thought. It was put together very well, so kudos to you, Coachman, because Roger swore quite a few times before he was able to start pulling this apart. It's looking good so far. We purchased unfinished kitchen cabinets from Lowe's. They're the wall cabinets with a depth of about 12 inches. We turned them into floor cabinets and put a countertop across. Hands down, my favorite paint for a project like this is the brand Dixie Bow Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint. It's easy to brush or roll on. It's complete coverage in 1 or 2 coats. No primers, no top coats necessary. I did prime the cabinets just for durability standpoint, but you don't have to. Finding a countertop to sit on top of these new cabinets was easier than I thought. I found this butcher block shelving at Lowe's, and it worked perfectly with the 12-inch depth of the cabinets that we just installed. All right, so on my countertop, I'm going to use this. It's a stain and poly in one. It's a housefly around here. He's driving me nuts. Holy cow! We got it at a discount store this summer, and it just makes it easy. That's a stain and poly in one. We're going to be putting it on the countertop. I gave it a very, very light sanding and a dusting. just to make sure. It is butcher block, just to make sure. There was a couple rough pieces and stuff, so just smoothed them out. It says to put on a couple of thin coats. Wait at least an hour in between coats. So I'm going to get started on this. Then I can do some extra coats on the cabinets while I'm waiting for this to get a second coat. I started by brushing the stain onto the countertop, but it was coming out very, very streaky. My husband said to get a dense roller and roll it on, and that did the trick. It made things so much smoother, and I stuck with that application process. I'm still working on my cabinetry and my countertop, but in the meantime, I have these little puck lights. They're very bright. They work well. They are kind of ugly, and this whole area I'm just trying to redo and make it look a little bit more homey. I'm going to be installing these over the puck light. I saw a video on TikTok or something of somebody doing this. It looked like it was very easy, so I'm going to give it a try real quick. I got these lampshades at Lowe's. It's a mix and match lampshade and lamp thing, and they're in size extra small, which I think is going to go really good over here. When they're hung up, they'll be in this area here. That is what I'm going to be working on real quick. Using wire cutters, cut the middle section out, spread out the 2 pieces of wire on each side to make a brace to hold the shade up. All right, I just slightly loosened these screws so that I could get some space in between there. We'll be wedging those pieces up underneath the light and then tighten up the screws again, and it's not going anywhere. All right, and we're getting into the home stretch here. Roger was able to put the handles on for me, the little knobs. I just got these cute little glass knobs for it. And here is my counter. And then these are my same curtains that I had up here, but I sewed on this fringe edge just to make it a little bit different. All right, so this floor isn't doing it for me. Plus, I don't mean to say anything, but he put it in crooked. So this portion needs to come out anyway, get cut out, and then do something else. So, I mean, in the meantime, I'm just going to throw my rug over it because we're camping this week, and I don't have to have like a finished camper to go camping. So I am going to just throw a rug over it for the time being until I find what I really want. I don't want to rush out and just get something like we did with this stuff. It sticks fine. It works fine. You know, it's a brand name peel and stick, but I hate gray. I hate gray. So I'm just not feeling it. And everything else I have is like browns, taupey colors, like still like warmer colors than that. And even my rug is like a jute kind of neutral colors like that. And it's just not going to work. I hate it. So I will change that. But yeah, in the meantime, this is what she looks like. And I love it. It looks so much better. And there's so much more room for activities. Before, see where this hole is? That's how far out the seat came for the dinette. So we really only had this very narrow path here to walk through. And for us, okay, it's great to have a dinette, but it was, I mean, you use it for like meals. That's it. A few minutes every day. To us, that was a huge waste of space. We got TV trays and we sit on the couch and use our TV trays for dinner. And then they can just be put away after you've had your meal. No big deal. So for us, I would rather have the storage in here and the actual space, because when you live in less than 27 feet, you need as much space as possible. Oh, there is one more thing though. I have peel and stick wallpaper that I would like to put here in the main living area. And in the kitchen, I have this peel and stick backsplash that I would like to do because our backsplash is disgusting, honestly. Okay, so in order to do the wallpaper, the backsplash, anything like that, I need to prep the walls. The biggest prep is like a really good cleaning to make sure that things stick. And I think it's probably like where people go wrong the most is, especially like in the kitchen where grease can splatter, things like that. So what I am going to use is TSP. This is actually phosphate free, but trisodium phosphate. is TSP, and it is a heavy duty cleaner, degreaser. You follow the directions, but essentially I mixed some TSP in this water bottle, shook it up really good, dissolved it. I'm gonna spray the walls and give it a good cleaning, and I probably will go over it a couple times, or maybe I'll give it like one clean rinse afterwards. All right, now that I've wiped just about everything down in this main area, I'm going to just put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on this microfiber towel and just give it one last good zhuzh, I guess. That is getting a little extra gunk off that the TSP didn't even get. Popping the old tile off was super easy. That stuff was barely hanging on. Okay, so I finished cleaning the backsplash area. Now I'm gonna work at putting my new peel and stick tiles. They're a hard plastic tile like this with adhesive on the back. Hoping I have enough to finish off the sidewall, which is right here. Kind of wrap it all the way around. I think it would be nice. Plus the sink's right there, and it gets a lot of splatters and dirt and stuff, so I am gonna get going on this. The basic tools required for a job like this are pretty easy. A pen or a marker, a square, a box cutter knife, maybe a measuring tape. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos before I started. You simply score the tile that you need to cut with the knife a couple times and just snap it in half with your hands. It was kind of a pain to install this tile. It was very rigid. I wanted the hard plastic for durability, so I guess you get what you ask for. But the project went very quickly. Look how much better that looks than the old ugly paper and stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it'll be nice when it's all said and done. I think I'll have enough to do this sidewall here. I'm obviously no professional. I really don't know what I'm doing, but anything is an improvement than what was already there, so I'm just gonna do it. I am pretty pleased with how it's going so far, so hopefully nothing too dramatic happens. Sorry if you can hear Roger outside. He is polishing and prepping the exterior of the RV right now. When you put these peel and stick tile together, there are just places where it just plain old does not match up. It's just wonky, and you see these little gaps, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These little areas here where, see, it matches up on this side, not on this side. It was hard to center these, and then you have like this nice area here, and then you have these dark gaps, and it just shows like crazy. So I looked up online, and I found a trick. Somebody said to use white caulk, scrape it with a spatula, get it in the crack, wipe it down, make sure nothing's left, and that seems to be working really good. So this and this looked like this a few minutes ago, and it totally blends in now. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I bought kitchen and bath caulk in a tube. I simply put a bead of caulk into the crack, ran my finger over it, pushing the caulk into that crack, and then used a scraper to scrape off the excess off of the tile, and then just used a clean damp sponge to clean up. I am changing projects today because my ADHD is kicking in, and I don't feel like finishing my backsplash today. I'm going to work on the second half of my project for the week, and that is to put new wallpaper, peel and stick wallpaper, in the living room kitchen area. I was very nervous to start wallpapering. I've never done like even traditional wallpaper, so I really wasn't sure what to expect, but so far it is going better than I thought. I can't tell you what the manufacturer of this wallpaper is because I bought it when I was in Maine. I got it at a store called Martin's. If you're from Maine, you know it just is what it is. Have heard horror stories. I've heard people complain. I'm not even sure if this is a good quality paper. If it doesn't last, I will do some research and invest into something a little bit more robust. But for the time being, I think it's going to be great. So not only am I going to do the walls where the windows are, I'm also going to do this back wall here, which is where my power station for everything is. Down below are my fuses and circuits. There's a lot of brown and a lot of real ugly brown in this camper, and I'm just trying to break a little bit of it up so that it's not so ugly. My wall prep was exactly the same as it was with the backsplash. The grid on the back of the wallpaper was perfect for both measuring and cutting. I was so nervous about installing this, but it was easier than I thought it would be. YouTube had a ton of how-to videos on this, and I must have watched 24 of them and kind of took the best from each video to figure out how to install this. I've done this whole area, and it so far has been better than I thought. It's still a little nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. So there, it looks like there's still like texture in here. I'm pretty happy. It's probably not perfect, I'm not gonna lie, but for me, it's working out good, and it's really not bad around these seams. There's almost like a tiny gap, so like if you go in with your smoothing tool or your fingernail afterwards, tuck it in pretty good, and you get a nice smooth finish. Look at me, I am a hot mess. I am dirty, tired. We have been working so hard in that camper to get it ready for the road. I have not finished probably any project. There's a little bit of everything still left to do on each and every project, but overall, for the most part, it is done enough so that I can live in it very comfortably. We are getting on the road very, very quickly, so I needed to kind of pick my battles. I kind of left it the way that it is. I figure I got all summer. I'm going to be working this summer, and we'll come up with a list of to-dos and just start crossing things off. So overall, I am thrilled with how everything's come out so far. I love having the excess floor space where we took out the dinette and put in the cabinet. To me, that was the most impactful thing that we did in this whole renovation so far. I promise that as I start doing more renovations, I will do some more detailed. These weren't very detailed. It's not really a how-to or anything. It was just more like, this is what I did. So if anybody would be interested in more in-depth videos on how to do certain things with the DIY stuff, just let me know and I will absolutely post it. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate everything, and I am really excited to get on the road. So with that in mind, I will say thanks for checking it out, and I will see you very soon. Bye.